everyone. I want to take some time in this video to explain to you how the course is laid out and how to find your way around. So if you're watching this video, that means you made it to Brightspace, you clicked on our course, that took you to the home page for the course where hopefully you read the announcement, and then you clicked on content up at the top. When you clicked on content, that brought you to the heart of the class. When you clicked on content, you saw probably some tabs down the left-hand side of the screen. The first one was titled Getting Started. The second one is Week 1 module, then Week 2 module, and all the way down to Week 10 module. So right now, you're in the Getting Started area, right? So in that section, you had a little sub-tab called Meet Your Instructor, and then a sub-tab for the course overview, and then this sub-tab that we're in right now, How to Find Your Way Around. After this sub-tab, you'll see attendance and weekly deadlines. Make sure you look at that, read through all the information, and watch the video for sure if this is your first online course. After that, there's a sub-tab for the syllabus, and then under that is a sub-tab called Instructions for Using Google Docs. If you don't have Microsoft Word, or you don't have easy access to it, or to be able to do things in a PDF, I have instructions here for how you can use Google Docs. It's free, right? But right now, we're in that How to Find Your Way Around sub-tab. I actually want to focus on the other sub-tabs, because starting with the Week 1 module, those tabs are where you're going to find the material and assignments for each week. So I want to make sure you understand how I've laid out the class and how each module works. Before I get into that though, I want to make it clear in terms of how the work is divvied up each week. You know, this is a 40-hour class spread out over 10 weeks. If we were on campus, that means we would be in class for 4 hours each week. On top of that 40 hours, you are expected to have roughly 20 hours of outside work, so 20 hours of homework spread out over those 10 weeks. So that's 2 hours per week spread over the 10. So that's 4 hours of time you would spend in the classroom and 2 hours of time you would spend working on assignments each week. That's really easy to do when you're actually going to the classroom. Those 4 hours that week, yes, it takes time out of your schedule, you know you have to be there, but you don't really think about the amount of work you're doing in those 4-hour blocks. But this isn't in the classroom. This is an online course. So that means the 4 hours of classroom time and the 2 hours of homework time are all together. And it's up to you to determine when it works best in your schedule to go through the material and complete the assignments each week. But it's still 6 hours each week, roughly. Some weeks might be a little less, some weeks might be a little more. But it should average out over those 10 weeks to be 60 hours total. So keep that in mind as you're going through each module, you know, as the term progresses. It's more difficult to wrap your mind around 6 hours devoted to one class. But just remember, 4 of those hours would normally be spent in the classroom. But even though we're not in the classroom, that doesn't mean that those 4 hours disappear. It's still designed to give you 6 hours of work each week. So how do we do that if we're not in the classroom? Okay. The way I do it is in each module, when you click on that week's module tab, so for instance, when you click on Week 1 module, you're going to see several sub-tabs appear underneath it. The very last sub-tab in each module is the homework assignments for that week. Everything else above that are the lessons for that week. So some of the graded items, some of the homework items, maybe we would do in class if we were in the classroom. So technically it would be a part of the lessons. But for the sake of making everything easy to find, I include all the graded items under that homework assignments subtab. And everything else above it is the material that you are supposed to learn that week, the material that we would go over in the classroom. So for instance, when you click on week 1 module, the subtabs that appear underneath it are syllabus review, course project overview, rhetorical situation, pre-writing, and thesis statements. That's all the material that we would cover in class if we were on campus. And then of course the last subtab says week 1 homework assignments. So if you can kind of get into the habit of viewing each module in that manner, that everything in the module are the lessons, and then the last subtab are the assignments, then it can kind of help you understand how it all works together. You go through the lessons first, and then you complete the homework items. Just like you would if you were going on campus. You would go into class that day, your instructor would teach the material, and then give you an assignment that you would go home and work on, and come back with the following week. All right, so that's how I've designed each week's module. You go through the lessons, and then you have your homework assignments. Now, when you click on the week 1 module tab, you'll notice that there's a little outline on the right-hand side of the page. And it says instructions for week 1. And then there's a little paragraph there where I give you some information, and then you'll see an outline. It says week 1 instructions, item 1, syllabus review. And then it tells you, read over the course syllabus. There's a PDF located in the Getting Started section. There's a Word document, a link to a Word document under the syllabus review video, which we'll get to. And then it says watch course syllabus video. Then the second item on the outline is course project overview. And it says look over handout and then watch video. The third item is rhetorical situation. It says to look over the PowerPoint and watch the video, and so on and so forth. You'll notice, though, that the order that all of those items are listed in there on that outline are the exact same order of the subtabs underneath the week 1 module. Everything matches up. So that outline is one way for you to know what you're supposed to do each week. That same outline appears on the announcement on our course homepage every week. So you can find it when you first click onto our course. There'll be an announcement there for that week, and it will also have this outline on it. Then you come into the content, you go to that week's module, and when you click on that module, you'll see that outline again here on the right-hand side of the screen. Okay? And again, everything that's listed under week 1 module, all those subtabs, it matches up exactly in that order. So for week 1, the first thing you'll do is you'll click on syllabus review. And you'll see that there is a little blurb there of information. Then in blue, you'll see a link to the syllabus. That's if you would like to look at it in a Word document as opposed to the PDF that's listed up under Getting Started. And then there's a video. And in the video, I cover the highlights of the syllabus, all the information you need to be aware of. The second subtab under week 1 module, it says course project overview. So there's a video where I explain what the course project is. It's what will be the big, the big graded item that you'll be working on throughout the term. That video explains it, and then underneath the video is a link to it in a Word document if you'd like to print it out. That's totally up to you. And then there's a typed version of it underneath the video and the link. The next item, the next subtab in week 1 is rhetorical situation. When you click on that subtab, you'll see that there's a PowerPoint and then a video where I explain the PowerPoint. The next subtab is pre-writing. you'll see that there's a PowerPoint and then a video where I go over the PowerPoint. Thesis statements, again, there's a PowerPoint and then a video where I explain the PowerPoint, right? So everything that was on that outline for what you need to cover in week 1, it's all there in those subtabs, in the same order. And the order that I put them in is the order that we would go through them in class. So it's probably in your best interest, to make sure that you're going through everything correctly, that you go through everything in that order as well. To mimic what it would be like in the classroom as much as possible. Now, one note about all my videos for each lesson, the videos are super helpful, right? It's one thing to go through a PowerPoint, it's another thing to go through it and then hear an explanation with it. I even give you instructions on how to get to the PowerPoint and watch the video at the same time. So you can click back and forth between them. But the videos can be on the longer side sometimes, so don't hesitate to take a break, right? We would if we were in the classroom. Don't hesitate to play the PowerPoint or play the video in the background while you're doing the dishes or doing something else. But the PowerPoints and the videos do go hand in hand, and hearing my explanation can be really helpful. The last item in the week 1 module is, of course, the week 1 homework assignments. When you click on that subtab, you'll see that there are 4 items listed. Syllabus acknowledgement, which is real quick, it's just going to ask you to type up a sentence letting me know that you've read over the syllabus and watched the video. Journal 1, Project Part 1, and the week 1 discussion. The discussion will always be listed last under the homework assignments, but you don't have to necessarily do it last. I have the assignments listed in the order I'd like you to complete them in as well, but that discussion, you can do that at any point during the week. It does not have to be the last thing you do. When you go to the other modules, like if you want to skip ahead and see what's coming up in the next, like the following week or 2 weeks later, you will not see that week's discussion because the discussions are only available during that week. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking ahead and you might say, oh, there's not a discussion in week 4. There is. You just won't be able to see it until week 4 begins, right? And once the discussion closes, you won't be able to find it after that either. So if you do it, if you missed a discussion and you didn't get to post to it before it closed on Sunday night, you won't be able to find it again because the discussions were very strict about when they open and when they close. All right, but if you are in the current week, that discussion should be there and it'll usually be listed last, but that doesn't mean you have to complete it last. You can work on the discussion at any time. The other assignments, try to go through them in the order I've listed them in, but there's room to maneuver with the assignments. The material, the lessons above the homework assignments tab though, that is designed to, to build off of each lesson before you move to the next one. Okay? And these modules are pretty much set up the same way throughout the whole term. If you go to week 2, the only difference is we don't have to do a syllabus review and we don't have to do a course project overview anymore. That was only for week 1. So for all the other weekly modules, you'll click on it, you'll see the outline over there on the right hand side, and then all the sub-tabs under week 2 module match up, right? So you'll get a review of week 1, and then we'll cover introductions, paragraph development, conclusions, and then the week 2 homework assignments. So every module is pretty much formatted and set up the exact same way. The pattern stays the same the entire term. What you just need to keep in mind is that all of the sub-tabs in the module are the lessons, the material that you need to learn that week, and all of the graded items are listed under the homework assignments tab for that week. Now, there are other ways of finding the assignments, and you might already know about these ways, you might not. But if you go up to where content was, up at the top, the very last option is course tools. And if you click on Course Tools, a menu will drop down, and there are several options there. 3 options in particular: discussions, assignments, and quizzes. Okay. If you click on discussions, it will take you to the discussion forums for this course. But again, they're only available each week. So if you go there, you will only see the discussion that is current at that time. If you click on assignments, you will see a list of all the assignments for the whole term. Make sure down at the bottom, though, that you have it set to more than 20, because it'll only show you the first 20 assignments. And if you happen to have a course that has more than 20, you won't see all of them. So you can go down there and you can choose 0 to 50. So you'll see 50 listed, and hopefully you don't have that many, but you never know. But you can see a whole list of assignments there. You will also see a feedback column. Once you have, you'll see a submission column as well, and it should tell you if you have submitted that item already. There's also a feedback column. The feedback is very important in this course because we're not face-to-face. So when you guys are working on assignments and you submit it, you don't know if you got it right. I grade most everything on effort. So for instance, the thesis statements assignment or the essay basics assignment, if you submit that and you got a lot of answers wrong, you'll still get the full amount of points for it, but you won't know that you got everything wrong unless you look at my feedback. I will leave you detailed feedback on almost every assignment you submit. I will let you know where you were off the mark, right? Sometimes I will even attach corrections. I'll put a Word document file, I'll attach it, and then you can look and compare your answers to the correct answers. So becoming familiar with the feedback is very important for this course in particular. And that would be how you would get to it, is going to Course Tools, clicking on assignments, seeing the whole list, and then there's several columns that you can look at. I highly suggest, though, that when you are looking to see which items need to be done that week, you use the homework assignments sub-tab for that week. Don't always go to that assignments page, because then you might miss a quiz or an exam. You might miss a discussion, because the only thing that's listed there under assignments are things that are categorized as assignments. If something is categorized as a discussion or a quiz, it won't show up on that list, okay? So you want to become familiar with that list so you can see my feedback. But in terms of knowing what you need to complete each week, use the outline that's provided when you click on the module tab, and then what's listed under the homework assignments sub-tab for that week. So if you go through the module from start to finish, and again, you don't have to necessarily go through every lesson and the homework assignments all in the same 6 hours. You decide how you're going to work on the course each week. You can do one lesson one day, another lesson another day. You can save the homework assignments until Friday or Saturday, whatever works best for you, right? But just keep in mind that the course is designed so that there would be a total of 6 hours each week. It might take you less, and that's fine, but that's what it's designed to be. If you are unsure of how to post to the discussions or how to submit an assignment, I'm always here if you need help with that. But there's also a course that should be listed on your Brightspace called Learner Training Course, and there are some really quick tutorial videos that show you how to do assignments and discussions and quizzes. So I would start there, and then if you still have questions and you're unsure of it, reach out to me or someone else that might be able to help you, but I'm always here to walk you through it if I can. But that's how the course is laid out. Once you get through the first week or two, it should be smooth sailing because, again, it's pretty much the same format every week, right? But if you ever have any questions, and you can't seem to find the answer here in the course content area, always reach out to me, okay? Otherwise, I think you guys will hopefully find it pretty easy to find your way around and sail right through everything.